Hi there and welcome to number shuffle game developed using C#. Let me show you guys how this works. So I'm going to start by clicking on that and let's click on 10, 14, 15. There we go. You are a winner. Click on OK. You can always reset to start a new game, but what's happening is the counter is still on. So if you click, you see the counter still keep going, but we don't want that. We can always select new game. There, once you select new game, you can then start all over. And if you find it hard to get it right, guess what? You can always take the shortcut. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys straight into C# development environment, and we put one of these together. But before I go, there's something here. You click on that, the system asks you, would you like to exit? No, I don't want to exit. Would you like to exit? No. And you can always click on yes if you want to exit. Okay, so let's go to C# environment now and put one of these together, guys. Okay, welcome back, guys. Let's start a new project by clicking on create new project. Okay, to start a new game, we select Visual C# and make sure the framework is Windows Forms application. Right, come right here and just let's give that a name. I'm going to call it CS underscore number underscore shuffle. There we go. Now let's click on OK. Now that my form is ready, I'm now going to define the size of this button. I'm going to give it approximately 1386. Let's say by. Let me make that 800. I can always change it. And now let's change the back color. Right here, let's go straight to web, and the color we're looking for is cadet blue. Right there. There. Now let's go straight to the toolbox. And I'm looking for a panel. I'm going to need 2 of those. And let's just resize this panel to approximately, I'm going to go for, and there, by maybe about 600. There we go. Let's position it properly. There. And I'm going to change the color of that very panel to powder blue. There we go. I will also add another panel. Let's just hold on to the control, click and drag. That's the second panel there. For the second panel, I'll change the color to. So what I'm now going to do is change the border style of both panel to fixed single. There, that is that done. Okay, now that the panel is set, I'll go back to the properties and now add buttons. I actually need about 20 of these, so let's change the size of that button to 120 by 120, and I will also change the font to about 48, so make that bold, and let's just say we have 48 on board. There we go. And I need 20 of those, so all I just need to do is hold on to the control, click and drag. There we go. Do that. And I have 16 in total there, and I also need 4 somewhere here. And right in the middle, I'm going to need 2 text box. Let's come down here, grab 1 text box, drag it that much, and change this to multi-line. Bring it right down. Okay, you see these buttons here, we need to change the size of each of these buttons. So select it all and change the size to about that much. Okay, so let's rearrange that. Okay, more adjustment needs to be carried out there. And we need 1 more text box right here. There we go, guys. You see both text boxes. I'm going to select them all and change the back color to cadet blue. each of these buttons, let's just add some numbers. So peg this down and come right here. Okay, we have the text. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Okay, all the numbers are in place apart from the last button here. There's no number on it. You can see it's button 16. So let's come down here. You see here, I'm going to change that, the content on that, to reset. This will be known as solution, and I'm going to change this to new game, and the last one here will be known as exit. There. So this is our text box 2, text box 1, and so on. And when we run the game, this is how it's going to look like. Okay, but there's nothing happening right now. So all we need to do is to create some functions and just add some codes to each of those buttons. Right, let's just move this everything a little bit centered. Right, exit there. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to double click on or select the form itself, and let's go to event right here, and I want to select event form closing. There we go. Let's double click on that, and right in here the first thing I'd like to do is to define the following. So that's going to be result, dialog result. Let's say the dialog result is I exit, and I exit equals as follows. So message box dot show, message box dot show as follows. Let's minimize this so that you guys can see it all. Enter a quote, and that is going to be confirmed if you want to exit. And right in here I'm going to enter another argument, and that's going to be message box button dot, let's say yes in there, yes and no, comma, message box icon, and in this case I'm just going to call that icon information there, and that is that sorted. Enter a semicolon right there. Okay, let's do something. Let's just break it down and put it on another line. Now let's use an if statement. If I exit, let's put that in a bracket, I exit equals dialog result dot yes, and in that case we want the following. Enter curly braces, let's say e dot cancel equals true. There, that's all there is to it. Okay, let's change this to no. Yeah, no, that's correct. Okay, because this is true, this will be no. So what I'll then do is, if I run the program now, this is what you guys will see. Click on that, exit. Would you like to exit? No. Okay, click on it again. Would you like to exit? Yes. You see that. So I'm just going to copy this and use exactly the same thing for my exit right here. Double click on exit, paste that in there. In the case of exit, let's change this to dot yes and get rid of this because it doesn't have this attribute. So I'm going to change that to application dot exit thread. Let's see right there. Okay, enter parenthesis, and there we go. Now get rid of that there. Okay, so when I run it now, this is what you will see, but make sure you use application.exit thread, else it's not going to work the way you want it to work. So if I click on that, no, click yes. Okay, that is fine. Yeah, now the next thing we want to do is to take care of our solution button. So double click on the solution button itself, and right there I'm going to start by saying button 1 dot text equals, let's convert the whole lot to string first there, and say dot convert to string. And what am I converting to string is number 1, and come out here, enter that. So I'm just going to copy it now. Copy 1, paste button 2, change that to 2, and so on, guys. And that'll be the solution button itself taken care of. And right there, guys, that is it, solution button taken care of. So I've taken care of the easy part of it. Now let's double click on the form. We will now create, or let's just say up here, we'll go right up here, and I might as well just get it sorted here. Now the first thing is here, I'm going to enter the following variable. I'm just going to call that counter. There, I'm going to be using that variable as my global variable, so it's declared already. So right underneath public from 1, where we have initial ID component, I'll just enter as follows. Let's call that public. So it's public because all of the components or the buttons will be using this. I'm going to call that empty sport. Okay, empty sport checker. And inside my empty sport checker is going to be button, which is going to be the object, and I'm going to give that the name, call it button 1. I will declare another one, and I'm going to call this button 2. There. Now let's come right down here, and in there I'm just going to enter curly braces. There we go. Now what we want to do is use an if statement to determine what content we have on each of those buttons. Let's say if it's button 2 dot text, that is equals empty. You have to say equals empty. Okay, so in that case we're going to say button 2 equals button 1. Copy, paste, and equals button 1. And the next one is going to be button 1 equals nothing. There. And that's my very first function taken care of very first method taken care of. Now let's take care of the other method that we actually validate the selections if it's correct or not. Okay, right underneath here I'm going to create another public class, but in this case I'll just call the name of the public class. Let's give it a name. Maybe we'll call it solution checker. So I've copied that, paste that underneath here, and come right down here, get rid of the content we have in here there, and this will be solution checker. So that's my solution checker there, and let's enter curly braces together, close. Now using a selection statement, let's say if button 1 dot text equals 1, okay, and we need to do the same thing for button number 2. In C#, this is how we enter our and button 2 equals 2. Repeat the same thing for button 3, and 3 equals 3, and so on, guys. Okay, right there. Okay, button 1 equals 1, 2 equals 2, 3 equals 3, 4 equals 3, and so on. So I'm going to enter curly braces here just to enter my statement in there. So in this case it's going to be message box dot show, and what do I need to write? I'm just going to enter well done, you are a winner. There, that's fine. So let's come out here and just say comma and enter the title. The title of the game is Shuffle Game. Come out here, comma, and I'm going to enter another parent argument. So that's going to be button, message box button. Let's use message box button. Message box button dot OK. Right, and the next argument, I'm going to enter message box information, message box icon dot information. There we go. Let's enter semicolon there. Right, so that's taken care of, and right underneath, this is where we come to use our counter. So in this case, counter should validate is called as a counter equals counter plus 1. There. If counter equals counter plus 1, we now want to display some data on the text box. So text box 1 dot text equals the number of clicks. Okay, open up that and then enter whatever. Just enter counter here. So counter will actually tell us the numbers anyway. And on text box 2, let's just change text box 2 to counter. In the case of text box 2, we're going to say counter dot convert to string, enter parentheses there, and close that. Change this to 2. There. So we've taken care of the solution checker. That will check if the player is able to put all the buttons together. Okay, now that is the second function taken care of, and here is the very first function. Now let's create another one. The other function is, that would be the function that we actually shuffle the whole system. So we can just call that public void and just maybe shuffle, something like that. So I want to copy this, come right underneath here, paste that in there, and just change this to shuffle. There, and curly braces, close that up. There we go. And I'm going to use randomization with the aid of do while loop. Okay, to continue, the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to create an array. And so let's say create an array. This is how you create an array in C#. Okay, but in this case the array is an integer, so let's call that button number. So I'm just going to say begin, okay, equals new, and it's going to be an integer. And how many numbers do I want in there? I want 16 there. So I've just created my first, I've created my arrays. So now let's say int letter I, comma, and letter J, comma, and I'm going to call the next one rows. Let's say rows, row counter or checker. Let's say row checker. Right, that's my third array there. Okay, now let's declare a boolean. So a boolean. So let's say boolean. In this case, let's get it. Let's say just flag equals false. There we go. Now, next thing we want to do is we want I to be equals to 1. So that one is easy. I equals 1. And let's use a do loop. Let's do enter parenthesis. So what do we want now? We're going to use random and say ran equals new random and just enter parenthesis in there. Close that. Right. So we're going to then validate whatever we have inside the random. Let's paste everything inside the rule check. Or maybe change it to rule checker. Right. Rule checker. Come right down here and paste that in there. Rule checker equals, and let's get it converted to string. Convert dot to integer, sorry, to int. Okay, I make mine 32, and that is going to be whatever data we have inside our ran dot next, and that will be from 0 to 15 plus 1. Close that there. So let's close the bracket here. There we go. Now I'm going to use a for loop. For j equals I. Now j should be 1 this time around, and comma j is less than and equals to I, and let's say j plus plus, and let's enter curly braces here and bring this down. Okay, let's use an if statement to assign whatever value we have straight into the b number, b num. Okay, and that is the array is j, and that is equals to rule checker. There we go. So I'm now going to enter another curly braces there, rule checker. There should be a C in there. Right. Now let's flag, since the data is entered in there, let's say flag equals true. And we can then break the whole lot. There we go. Right. So I might as well just copy this, okay, and just say if flag equals true, then flag equals false. So let's say copy that right underneath here. Let's say right in here, because this time around we are out of the loop. So let's say if flag equals true, that will be equals here, and then flag equals false. Well, I'll just copy this one here. There we go. So in that case, let's say else, let's get that correct, else we say b number, which is the array itself, is I, and equals rule checker, while I equals I plus 1. There. So right underneath here, now let's say using the y I is less than and equals to 15. Let's then say button 1 dot text equals, I'm gonna get that converted, dot to string, And what am I converting to string? That is going to be this very one here. Copy all of that, paste that right in there, and column here. Right, that's for the very first button, so I'm going to repeat the same thing for button number 2, 2, 3, and so on, guys. That will be 2, 3, and for your information, this will be 1, 2, 3, and so on. So let's speed that up. And right there, guys, those are the functions I believe is taken care of now. So let's take it from here. This happens to be the longest, so let's see. Okay, that's for the shuffle function, which I'm going to call very soon on the form load. Okay, let's go to the form and call this particular method. So I'm going to have copied that, double click on the form, and where we have form load, I'm going to paste that in there, enter semicolon. So when I run this now, hopefully I expect it to get all of these buttons shuffled. So let's run it and see. There we go, look at that, all of the buttons are now shuffled, but nothing is happening. So for us to be able to get it move around, what I'm now going to do is, let's go straight to button 1. Look at button 1. The only direction that button 1 can move is move to 2 or to 5. 2 will move 1 and 3 and 6. 3 will be 2, 7 and 4, and so on. So let's double click on button 1 to start with. So in the case of button 1, I'm going to call my function that I declare empty spot checker. So let's say in that case button number 1, okay, which as you can see, look at an example they're given to us. So we're going to say button 1 itself is now going to be replaced by button 2. There, enter column there. So the other direction that we can move, change this to lowercase, the other direction that we can move is going to be 5. So I'm just going to copy that, paste that in there, and this will be 5. Okay, so you see button 1 can move in the on the button 5 direction, or button 1 can move on the button 2 direction. So now let's call our solution checker to validate the movement made. So the case of solution checker, if you guys remember, is right here. That's my solution checker. So I'm going to copy that, and let's go straight inside button 1 and just ask solution checker, check if everything is correct. There, I might as well just copy that, and I'll repeat exactly for the same thing for button 2. In the case of button 2, we can move 1, 3, 6. So double click on button 2 and change this one to 2. 2. We can move 1. We can move 3. And we can move 6, as you can see. So copy, paste, and change this to 6. Now let's copy that again. The next movement is going to be 3, and in the case of 3 we have 7, 2, 4. So double click on 3, paste that in there, change this to 3, 3, 3, and that is 7, 4 and 2. Okay, look at that, 7, 4, 2. Let's see number 4. In the case of 4, we can only move 3 and 8. So double click on 4, come right down here, paste all of that. So that will be 4, 4, 4. We can move 3, get rid of this. We can move 3 and we can move 8. There, and so on. So I'm just going to speed that up because it's taking much time, and you guys can This is where it's going to get a little bit complicated when it gets here to 6. In the case of 6, we have 2, 5, 7, 10. Okay, so let me do 5 and 6. So in the case of 5, I'm just going to copy all of this. So 5 here, 5, 5. Let's see the movement of 5. It's going to be 6 and 9. Okay, we can move this way and we can move this way. 6 and 9. So let's come back there. 6 and 9. Now let's take care of 6. 6 is 5, 2, 7, 10. Double click on that and let's save. That's 6 and do that. Copy that and paste that underneath. So that is the movement is 2. Now there's 10 movement, and let's come in here. We have 2, 5, 7. So we already have, so we need 5 and 7. So that's 5 and 7. But we have to change this to 6 though. So that's 6, 6, 6 and 6 there. So I'm now going to speed that up. I believe you guys get the whole idea now. Yeah, just before I speed that up, I just noticed 5. There's one more missing on 5. Copy that, because 5 can move to the position of 1 as well. So change this to 1. So let me show you guys what I'm saying. 5 can move 1, 6 and 9. Okay, now take care of 7 and let's just speed it up. And that is it, guys. It's all taken care of. We have 16 and let's see, we have 15, 14, 13, 12 and 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 there. So let's just say run it and see how it's going to perform. There, it's shuffled. There we go. There we go, guys. Yeah, it's working as we expect it to work. Alright, that's fine. Okay, everything is working as I expected, so I just need to change the color here and get this centered. Alright, exit. So let's come back in here, select both text box and just get them centered. Let's see, is it centered? No, get it centered. Right, and change the color to white. Font for color to white. Okay, let's use window color. That's fine. Now the next thing we want to do is to double click on reset, and that will be shuffle. So we're just calling the system to reshuffle everything. There we go. That's just my reset. I'm now going to clear everything. So but in the case of new game, double click on new game. New game, we shuffle and reset. Let's say text box, txt button 1. You can say dot clear. Yeah, okay, and repeat the same thing for button 2. There, that's for button 2. Then one thing I will do to reset the whole button, the whole form itself. So to reset the whole form itself, I'm going to say this dot refresh. Okay, now enter parentheses, get that, close, and let's say this dot hide, and at the same time I would like it to be opened. And to get it open, let's just say form 1 equals new game, and my new game equals new form 1, enter parentheses, and right here let's say new game show. dot show, new game dot show. There. So that should take care of my new game. That's the new game in there. So let's run it and see how that's going to work. Now, solution, there we go, new game. You see that, and that automatically refresh the whole system. Okay guys, and that is how you develop your own number shuffle game in C#. So I'm gonna say you all have a nice day now, and please do subscribe and be a member of my channel. Bye for now.